Jason?
Yes. How's it going?
Hi. You interviewed my boyfriend.
Yes, I did. The great Richie Fontana, great musician.
He's the great Richie Fontana.
Oh yeah.
He's a great guy too.
Legendary album with,
I know.
by coincidence, Paul Stanley.
I know. Well, he was on the same management company. Piper was a coin management, so it was, they knew each other through that, and he's just a great guy and very talented musician. So Paul recognized that, and he said, "Let me use him."
How you been doing these days?
I've been busy. I actually did a KISS an expo. They don't call them conventions anymore. I did an expo in Philadelphia over the weekend, and I saw Bruce Kulick, and there was a KISS cover band, and it was fun. Very busy. I was constantly signing, constantly.
With all those great conventions, or I mean expos, you signed a lot of books and stuff, and you sell merchandise.
I sign books, and I also have photos, and a few little things that I might, every now and then I find something that I have been holding on to and don't want anymore. Or sometimes my family comes up with stuff. My brother this weekend actually came up with 3 signed photos: one of Paul, one of Gene, and one of Peter, Paul, and Ace, not Gene. And they were from the 70s.
Does the collection ever run out?
Oh, sure you run out. Eventually, I hope to run out of the books. I want to do a soft cover.
So, your book has been selling for how long now?
3.5 years, and it still sells.
And you started it,
I have it on Amazon. I have it on my website, and I just came from the post office with, one that wanted a signature. So when they want an autograph, you can get it signed or unsigned, and when they want an autograph, I have to do it. So
for sure.
I have to send them out myself. So I just brought one to the post office half hour ago.
You've been on the internet for a little while now.
Yeah. I've had a website since I did the book. I did them all, everything together. It was a lot of work, especially the book. Do you have the book?
Not yet, but I will be getting my own copy.
Okay.
All I can see, it looks really good, and it's how many pages you got in that book?
368 pages. It's all color. About 1,500 unseen photos. It's a coffee table. It's a hardcover. It weighs about 5 pounds, almost 5 pounds, maybe 4.5 pounds, something like that. I think it's about 120,000 word text.
Wow.
So there's story to it also. It's not just photos.
Now, for those photos, it's mostly you that took them in the days?
I took about 97% of the photos. The ones that I didn't take, I'm in. And there's a few that I bought from photographers for the book. Like I bought some from Bob Gruen, but I'm in the photo. Actually, the cover is a Bob Gruen. I don't know do you know who Bob Gruen is?
No.
Bob Gruen did the Dress to Kill album cover.
Okay.
And he also did the famous John Lennon photos with the New York City T-shirt.
Right.
Okay, and he did John Lennon's cover of Walls and Bridges, and he was a good friend of John's. So I work with Bob, and so I bought some photos from him, and I also bought some photos from Finn Costello. No, not Finn Costello. Yeah, Finn Costello. He was one of the photographers that worked with KISS in the 70s, I believe, the 70s, and now I think he lives in Scotland or Ireland. That's where he lives. Yeah. But I took most of the photos, yes.
Except the ones you're in. It's hard to take
right.
them if you're in them.
Well, actually, there are some in the book that I did take that
wow.
I did take of myself. Actually, there's the author photo, which is in the very back. I took that photo, and I took the photo. There's another photo of me, probably in the late 70s, that I took of me in my house in Connecticut. You get tripods and the remote trigger thing, so you can take. I've actually done that. So there's two photos that I actually took myself. So
professional photographer back in those days.
In those days, I always took photos. Because my mother loved photos, and my uncle was a photographer, and I always took photos, but I always had a cheap camera. It was only a $20 Instamatic point and shoot type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
With a flash bulb, and that's what most of the beginning photos of KISS. And then eventually, I got a nice camera when we went to Japan the first time, and I started learning how to use a 35 millimeter, and I really liked it, and I kept taking pictures, and then eventually I went to school I took a couple of classes, and then I found an agent, and she's been selling my photos. She was selling my photos for about 16, 17, 18 years, something like that, and then she passed away. So I decided to do the book, and that took a lot of time. But right now I'm semi-retired.
Semi-retired until you write another book.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to write another book. If I do another book, it might be just photos and maybe a little caption underneath the photo, but not the whole story, because that was the hardest part, I think, writing the text. And then you have to edit it, and it was a lot of work.
With all these photos you released sealed with a kiss, you have unreleased photos still waiting for this next book you're talking about?
Oh yeah, I have unreleased photos, sure. But I don't necessarily mean that. I do have unreleased Kiss photos, but I don't necessarily want to make this a Kiss book. I want it to be rock and roll, because I've shot a lot of famous people.
Okay, yeah.
In my book, in the back of the book, there's a section after I got divorced from Peter, and that's when I, really pursued my career, and took tons of photos of. There's Rod Stewart, there's Billy Joel, there's the Rolling Stones, David Bowie, Joan Jett, Keith Richards, Frank Sinatra, Styx, Van Halen, Rush. You know Rush, right?
Oh, yeah, Canadian Rush.
Canadians. Yeah, I just saw some photos of, they're doing a documentary on Rush, and they saw that I had a picture of Alex with Peter, and so they wanted to use that, and then they also wanted to use a few more, some Kiss photos that were in my book. So I haven't gotten they're supposed to send me a copy of the DVD, but I guess it's not out yet. So, But let's see, who else? Eric Clapton. Let's see, Pat Benatar, Cyndi Lauper, Ace Frehley, Sebastian Bach, New Kids on the Block. It goes from one extreme to the other.
So you meet all these people that you mentioned also?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Wow, you've loved the rock and roll lifestyle.
I love it. Yep. It's exciting. It's the thing is, it's also it's like two things in one. You're actually going out and you're having a good time, and then you're also working, so you're making money and having a good time.
You sounds like you're having lots of fun in those days, and taking all these photos. Meeting Keith Richards. I'm sure that's
I have a picture of me and Keith in my book with his arm around me, and actually Bob Gruen took that photo, and I was so thrilled with that one, because I meet a lot of stars, but I don't get to take pictures with them, and when you get that, it's even more special.
Did you even get an autograph from Keith Richards?
Actually, I'm not an autograph person.
Okay.
I don't really. I wanted John Lennon's autograph, and Peter, at one point, we were waiting outside of a store that he was in, and Peter said, "Don't annoy him. Don't bother him." I said, "I want an autograph." He goes, Don't bother him." And this is before Peter was in Kiss. And I just waited outside, and I said, "I can't just stand here for 1 hour and not say something to John Lennon." So I said, he was getting in his limo, and I just said, "Hello, hey, John," and he looked at me, and I said, "Hi." He goes, "Hi there," and that was it, but I didn't get an autograph. That I would have loved. I did get Paul McCartney's autograph.
But you
that's
got
one I did get, but
that's
but normally
awesome.
I don't like to bother the stars for autographs. I know they get bothered enough.
But at least you got 2-3 seconds with John Lennon.
Yeah. Yep.
When's the last time you ever talked to Peter Criss?
The last time I spoke to Peter was back in, 96, the beginning of 96. It was in January, and it was right before he signed the contracts to do the reunion tour. I think I spoke to him on a Monday, and he signed the contracts on Friday. So that's the last I've actually spoken to him. I do speak to his family. I'm in touch. I'm friends with his brother and his sister, and but the only one I was talking to for a long time was Ace. Ace was a friend of mine.
And Ace
but
just...
Peter I haven't spoken to him in, 16 years? That's actually a couple of years. I think it was the year after my book came out. It was the summer. My book came out in 2006, and I think his album came out in 2007. But I think somebody told me he's working on a new one right now. This is what I heard at the convention over the weekend.
Peter?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's interesting. And you know that Peter Criss is online finally. He has a website.
Oh yeah, he's had the website. I've known that for a while. But you know what it is? A lot of people don't. Most people will think petercriss.com, but it's .net. Somebody probably registered his name, and instead of paying to get it back, he just changed it to .net, which is, it's a little bit harder because a lot of people don't know, don't think of that. They automatically think, Peter should have his own name and it's .com, because I have my name and I was lucky that nobody stole my website name. But anyway, I know he has. I think when you go on it used to play bass, but I don't think it does anymore.
Did you keep track of Kiss throughout the years after you were not involved?
Well, no. To be honest with you, I saw Kiss in 1980 when Eric Carr joined the band. That was his first show. And then I saw Eric Carr's last show in 1990 at the Garden. So the 10 years in between, I didn't see Kiss at all. I was remarried, and I didn't, I just wanted to change my life and, get away from Kiss. And it was actually it was the non-makeup years. And then somebody asked me if I wanted to do a convention. This is like back in the late 80s. And that's when, I got rid of a lot of my Kiss stuff that was doubles and triples. And then I did the convention, and Kiss has been back in my life since then. I mean, I stopped doing the convention for a couple of years, and then I was dragged back into it, when they heard about the book coming out. So everybody wanted to have me do conventions, and I'm actually doing another one in New Jersey on the, June 6th, 17th and 18th, I think it is. And then there's something else that I've been invited to do also in the middle of the summertime, but it's not just Kiss, it's all rock and roll. It's going to be like 100 stars there, and so that's in New Jersey also.
What's the furthest you travel for Kiss conventions?
I just came back. Well, in November I went to Belgium, and in a year ago in May I went to Sweden. I mean, I'll go anywhere if they pay my ticket.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, and I'm sure it's a lot of effort too to get to Belgium. Let's say for 1 weekend, it would be. Yeah, it's a weekend, and it's a long. I usually make it a little bit longer. Like maybe I'll leave on a Thursday night, and I'll get there Friday morning, and then I have to catch up on the jet lag on Friday, and then Saturday's the convention, and then Sunday I'll stay and just do a little tour of the town, and then I'll leave on Monday. That's what I did with Sweden, and that's what I did with Belgium. But it's hard getting the books over there because the books weigh a ton, and just to send one book, well, if I send one book or 3 books, it costs the same amount of money, but it's over $40 now. American dollars, so it's it's almost the price of the book just for the shipping. When you go up, like let's say overseas, how many books can you bring with you? Well, I ship them ahead of time. Okay. And I do take some with me, but I think that when I went to Sweden, I took about 30 books both times. About 30 books, and I sold almost all of them. Belgium, I sent a little bit more because the promoter wanted me to bring more, and I sold probably about 30 books. So I have some sitting over there in Belgium that he's going to sell for me. That's good. Yeah. And now you're with Richie Fontana, another guy that's part of Kiss History. Does he go on this tour also? No, he doesn't go with me. He doesn't. He did at the beginning when the book first came out.
he would go just to the local places like New Jersey, and we went to Allentown, Pennsylvania. But he doesn't go. He doesn't take the flights with me. He's a bit tired of the whole thing, and he also has MS, and it's hard for him to get around. So he stays home and watches my bird.
Oh, you have a bird.
Birds. I have 2 birds, so he feeds them while I'm gone.
What are the names of these birds?
One is Buddy and one is Butchie.
So he takes care of Butchie and Buddy.
Yep.
That's good of him. And how did you meet Richie Fontana?
Well, I met Richie because, like I said, they were both in the same management company, and I met him when he played with Kiss back in, I believe it was 76 or 77? 77, yeah. And, I just met him, and I just said, that's another one of the bands, and that was, but I said, he's a nice guy. And I never saw him after that until about 81 when I was already divorced. And Richie had just gotten back from Australia. So we were at the same Kiss party at Studio 54. And we said hello, and that was that. And we didn't have any contact until 2001. Sean Delaney, who was the vice president of Acoin Management, he was like the sort of the creative consultant guy. He's the one that taught Kiss the moves and everything, and he was, also in a band with Richie at one point. So he was staying with me, and it was New Year's Eve, and he asked me if first we were supposed to go up to Ace's house, and then plans got changed. So he said, "Would you mind if if we had some like New Year's Eve party at your place?" And I said, "No, that's fine." And he's inviting people. I'm going, "Who's Richie? What Richie are you inviting?" He goes, "Richie Fontana." And I said, "Oh, I love Richie Fontana." And then we started emailing and talking on the phone, and about a month later we started dating, and it's been 8 years now.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. I told Sean that I liked Richie. I said, "Sean, don't tell Richie I like him." He goes right home and tells him.
Uh-oh. And then the rest is history.
Yep.
So basically this summer you're keeping busy, with a few tours and that, or like little gigs.
It's actually about one a month lately. I did one last month in April. I did one in May, and I'm going to do June and July. So far it's like I'm pretty busy with, usually they're not that close together, but I was surprised. I mean, I came home from Philadelphia, and there was an email inviting me to the July one, and I said, I finished one, and I'm and already there's another one. That should be interesting though, because it's going to be everybody from like stars from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and up till now. So it's like a wide range of people, I mean, from the Rascals to the Yardbirds, and some of the current people, like Bruce Kulick will be there. So
Bruce
but
Kulick,
there's more to be added. They just sent me a partial list.
Bruce Kulick and Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah?
What do you think of that? That he's playing guitar in that band?
Is he? I didn't even know. I just saw Bruce this weekend, and I didn't even. He had the table next to me, and I just said hello to him and spoke to him for like a few minutes, and didn't get into anything. But he's with Grand Funk now.
He's been in that group, I think, for 7 years or something.
Get out of here!
Oh yeah.
He has his own. You see, when I see him, he's promoting his own stuff.
Yeah, most
so I didn't know he was doing that.
Yeah, he's we're an American band guy now.
Ah. We're an American band. That was a song that Kiss should have recorded.
Yeah, with Peter Criss on drums.
Of course.
We're an American band. That's an awesome song.
I just wanted to make sure that that everyone knows the name of my book is Sealed with a Kiss, and like I said, it's available on my website or through Amazon.com, and it's a great book. Everyone says they put it up. Some people say it's as good as History, and some people say it's better. So.
And we should not forget, Lydia, it's on lydiacriss.com.
Yes, and that's Lydia. CRISS.com.
Well, Lydia, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Okay,
And,
same here, Jason.